Okay, future me here. Before I start this video, I mentioned in the last couple I've got a little problem. I've been having problems with my GoPro, corrupted files. All the bulk footage I took for this video, every single one this time gave me corrupted files. So I've gone through, I figured out that the SD card was going bad. So there's going to be a lot of times in this video where I'm mentioning stuff that I did that you won't see, and it's because it would all happen in the bulk footage, and it's just not there anymore. So I think I've got a handle on it. I've got some other SD cards I'm going to try. I haven't used them in a long time, so whatever, and I'm going to order a new one. So bear with me. Thanks for the patience, and on to the real video. Hello, people of the internet. So today we're going to be working. I think I said we were going to start working on the bead roller, but actually we're going to start working on the stand for the bead roller. That way, once the bead roller's done, I actually have a place to put it and move it around. So, I've been out grinding all day. I might look kind of like an Oompa Loompa. I don't know if it comes through. Also got a new camera. Trying it out. I don't know if it'll be any better or any worse. If it works out, it makes my life a little more convenient. If not, I'm going to go back to the other camera. It's the way it is. So let's see what I got and what we're working with here. So what we've got originally is an old orange 3-legged Harbor Freight engine stand. And this is from years ago when buddy and me were living together and we needed multiple engine stands. I think at one point we had 4 or 5 of them because we were doing stuff. Anyway, got a lot of stuff ground down. This stuff's probably all lead. It reminds me of lead paint from work with the smell. So don't be like me, wear a respirator. But what I've done, I've got most of it ground down. Like the welding I plan to do, like on this particular bar. Man, I don't really like. Let me try a different focus here. Whew, maybe that helps. So the welding on like this bar, I only have to do in this area, so that's where I did it. That's where I ground the most down. The rest I just knock down so that when I'm finished and I go to put my paint on it, it'll just kind of stick. I mean, it's a tool stand. I'm going to spray paint on it, and what sticks sticks. Same deal. That's why these kind of look a little, wonkety as far as like metal prep. On this one, I haven't decided if it's going to be on this side or the opposite side, but I need to put the pegs for the bead roller dies, and again, just more of the same. I've got some weld-proof. Oh, I'm about to lose everything. I walked into the stupid bar, and my clamps are falling off because it's not right. So let's put the camera down. I'm gonna get some weld-through primer on, and we'll come back. All right, so we're primed. I wasn't initially going to prime all the pieces, like the whole body. But I started having problems with my spray nozzle. I swapped out the spray nozzle, had the same issue. Maybe stuff's getting old. I don't know. I really don't care. I just went ahead and put a coat on everything. And look, I already got a creature living in it. Fun. Living in the woods. That's what you get. But everything's on this part of it. Everything's coated, and it just needs to sit out here and dry. Eventually the sun will make it over top of the garage, and hopefully things will dry out. So the plan is, God, I gotta get that GIF. I really need the 10 things I hate about you, the plan. So the plan is, we got these guys. I believe these are 5 or 5.5 inch tall. Does it tell me on here? No, but they're Granger, so there's a part number. They're 5 or 5.5 inch tall. So those will go on there. Then in the front, because it was a 3-legged stand to begin with, in the front, we will take this block that I found at my local metal supplier, and I will do a layout and drill and tap it so that it can just bolt onto the front. It'll get welded to this section of tubing here, which will give me a pretty good spread on the wheelbase. The wheels will go to the outside, but probably sit in there kind of like how that is. And this is, I think it's 1/8 inch wall. Yeah, I want to say it's 1/8 inch wall, not 3/16. I was really looking for a piece of 3/16. I'm going to try to drill and tap it for quarter 20, or not quarter 20, quarter 28, and see if I can't just do that. If that doesn't work, I'm going to put riv nuts in it, and that way the casters can bolt on and off. These pieces will go towards the back, and what they will do is they will weld up like this to extend that rear T-bar. And originally I was going to point them in to the center of the unit, but now I'm looking at it, I think I'm going to point them out, and then when they'll get welded up, and then again, this is thick enough, this is quarter. I will drill and tap that for the casters. The main body piece that's hanging up out there isn't as thick, so I'll try to drill and tap it, and if it doesn't work, then we will do nutserts. I have a piece of rod that I need to bend up and weld to this 1/2 inch bolt to make a handle, because where the original pin would have gone into a piece that I have no idea, into the engine plate, where the original pin would have located down into the engine plate. What I did was I drilled all the way through into the neck. Super zoom? Yeah. Okay. So I drilled through the barrel down, just a little undersize of 1/2 inch, and a 1/2 inch coarse bolt will thread itself into it and snug everything down and keep it from moving. Back to normal view. I have shims so that when the center leg goes into the vertical, I can shim it to where it needs to be. I've already test fit them. They work. They're good. And then I guess when it comes to the bead roller, I did knock some of the stuff down on here. I've got a plate. I've got some 1/4 inch angle that I'm going to use to reinforce the bead roller. But we'll get to that when we work on a bead roller. For now, I don't really know what I'm going to do because it's cold outside and there's no direct sunlight. So that stuff's going to... Hold on. I'm flipping the camera over. There we go. Yeah, so it's cold outside, there's no direct sunlight, and I don't really want to stand around with my thumb up my butt for, a couple hours waiting for the weld through to dry up. I guess I don't really have to wait for it to dry up, but since I got to maneuver it and handle it and everything, I kind of want it to dry up. So we got to figure out what we're doing next. I don't know. We'll give it a think and come back. And so what we ended with was this ugly thing here. I don't know. Call it ugly, whatever. It's a tool. It's going to function the way I needed it to. I really wanted the bolt head to sit on the barrel of the stand, but I did need a little bit extra height. It's still a little warm, but I needed the height to get my hand underneath it. So this is just what I went with. Cut down a 5/16 bolt. It's on there. It's crooked. I tried to get it straight when I was working on it, but it's what it is. It's a twisty knob. It's not, we're not building Ferraris here, folks. We're building practical things. This is the Chevette of tool stands. All right. Okay. Hold on. Flip the camera over. So, yeah, still waiting for stuff to be handleable. I hate this part of projects. Okay, back at work. All right, so what I did here was I took my plate and before I drilled it, I took that, I used a transfer punch, I transferred the holes, and then I drilled my holes. These will be tapped for 5/16 18. That'll be plenty strong enough to hold it all together. You'll notice it is not centered. I pushed the I push the mounting flange and this block all the way back so it'll move this forward, trying to get my wheels spread as best I can. It's not going to be perfect. It's not even or symmetrical as far as front and rear wheel placement in a square. They're going to be what is it, a trapezoid? The front wheels will be narrower than the back wheels, but it should work fine. Everything's okay. Drilled fine. You might notice in the if this guy works this time, you might notice in the bulk footage that I swapped over and pretty much went straight to using this thing. And this is a Cold Gun by X-Air. And it's, let's see if I can remember. I've had this for a few years. It builds up a Vortex or a Venturi or something off of your shop air. And basically what it does is it takes standard shop air and it shoots it out of the nozzle. You can get a single nozzle, but I like the double nozzle. It shoots it out of your nozzles at like super duper cold temperatures. So it's 40 in here right now, 45. And this thing, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but this guy is sweating. So it gets substantially cold, and that's great. It keeps your working. Ooh, that was a whistle. Keeps your working materials from overheating, and it's just nice. And I did use a little bit of lubricant, but that's just nice. So next, what I'm going to do is, this is the beam for the front. That plate right there will eventually get welded, but I've got to do the layout on here to figure out where the center point of this beam is, and then the layout on that to figure out where the center point of it is, and draw some lines, get everything lined up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer punch those holes into this, over drill these 4 holes, and then that way this piece, which is 1/2 inch thick, will be threaded. These will just be open, and if I use too long of a bolt, it'll just pass through. I don't have to worry about trying to get it 100% lined up and make this thread and that thread all work together. I'll thread the 1/2 inch plate. It'll get welded onto this. Everybody will be happy and fine. So I think that's what we're going to do now. Okay, so this is where we're at. It's a little smoky, hot. I don't know. Is it hot down here? Yeah, it's a little warm down there. I got the bolts in, just more for locating. I did have a line mark so that I could get it in place where I wanted it. Yeah, I know. My welds aren't great, but they're going to hold, and they'll be fine for this. Like I said, this will get bolted. This will become the front wheel leg. I think the last thing that we're going to do with this one, I don't know. I need to drill out some plug weld holes. Yeah, I speak English. I need to drill out a couple of plug weld holes in these. I'm thinking 3 each. Just doop, doop, doop. And I got the other one down there. And those will go on this bar. And I do need to flip this one more 90 degrees so that I'm on this face here, and I can do I can set up my casters and try to drill and tap for the casters. If you were paying attention and the bulk footage comes out, the first hole I went to tap in here, I grabbed fine thread instead of coarse thread and couldn't figure out why it didn't want to quite work as well as I was hoping. So luckily everything came together and that was fine. But yeah, always pay attention to which ones you grab. And I did break out already, because this is only like 1/8 inch wall. I got my for casters, I'm gonna run, I can't open it. Hold on, let's see, there we go. I've got this, and this is a drill and tap, nothing super fancy, but it's a 1/4 28, and fine thread ought to give me, or it's a drill and tap for 1/4 28, so 1/4 inch fine thread. But that should give me enough thread contact to keep casters from rolling around. And so yeah, I don't know. I at least want to do that up there, and then we'll go from there. So let's get working again. All right, so this is what we got. I think I'm calling it for today, or at least as far as filming is concerned. Casters are on. We're running 4 locking swivel casters. The bolts I grabbed are probably a little long. I could go a little bit shorter. I think these are 1 inch. I could probably go to 3/4. But they fit. They hold nice. I like those drill bits for some of the smaller stuff. Like machine screw sizes up to about 1/4. I think I've used them up to a 3/8. 5/16 and 3/8 ones I just don't like as much. I don't know. I feel like you start losing control after a certain point. Anyway, everything's in. So start thinking about it. I'm absolutely not sure why I did weld through primer on any of this, because it's going to eventually get painted anyway. I don't know. I'm watching too many other people build stuff and just did it. So flip the camera. All right. So like I said, I think that's it. You guys don't need to see me drill plug weld holes. There's no point in that. And I like coming up with content as much as the next guy, but nobody wants to watch that. Anyway, so we got the front caster set up, done. I've got to get the main body put back together, welded together. I've got to get the rear casters done. I might do those first, actually. Yeah, I'm probably going to do those first. I'll get the rear caster plates and stuff on that, get it reassembled, weld it together, and then and I guess it's done. Then I'll start working on the actual tool. It needs to be reinforced. It's got some other issues. Some of them I'm not going to be able to address. That's later. That's a future me problem. I was going to say something else. Oh, I know what it is. So this is a tool stand. And for those that don't know, most of my tooling, flipping the camera again, most of my tool stands are this like Kona Brown, if I build them. My wife bought a whole ton of this stuff years ago, and I've slowly worked my way down to like the last can and a half. So like, these are just the ones that I still have. I've got stuff outside that's that way. All right, so the stands are usually brown. The tools I like to do in some of the metallic blue, random metallic blues that I've got. Let's see. I don't feel like flipping the camera. So like, that's my anvil. When I cleaned it up and repainted it, it's just a really light metallic blue random paint that I've got laying around. So I need to come up and I need to figure out what the hell I'm going to paint it. If you guys have any ideas, I'm thinking, hold on, this is going to get bright. Nope. There it went. Yeah, told you that was going to get bright. So let's see what we got here. I'm flipping it around again. Okay. So this is the stuff I usually use on my stands. And like I said, espresso. I was wrong. It's not Kona. It's espresso. And I'm down to like the last can and 3/4. I've got some Nissan B17 Daytona Blue. I got like a can and a half of just Duplicolor truck light blue. That's a little metallic-y. Oh, that didn't work at all, did it? Got like a can and a half of medium blue, kind of metallic-y. And I got 2 cans of AMC blue, which is also kind of metallic-y. I don't know that I want to do... I can't work one-handed. If I ever become a paraplegic, well, not a paraplegic, if I ever have to be an amputee, I'm shit out of luck. And talk. Yeah, murder closet. When the light goes off, I swear to God, they were killing people in there. But I don't really know that I want to do the brown, and I don't know that I want to do the whole stand in like a metallic blue. So it's kind of lost on paint. You guys got an idea? Let me know. Maybe gray. Maybe I'll do something in gray. I think I got a bunch of like hammer finish metallic gray. Maybe I'll do the stand in metallic gray. That actually might look good. I think I'm going to do that. Stand's going to be metallic gray. Tool's going to be a blue. All right, cool. And if anybody's really wondering, so I don't know if I discussed this, if I talked about it. I ramble a lot, so I forget. I'm trying to utilize some of the stuff that I've got instead of just going out and buying new. And I also wanted to try, and I don't think it's going to happen now, but when the idea hit me to use the engine stand, I thought that I could put like 2 tools on it and then rotate it 180 degrees, depending on what tool I wanted to use. You know, one would be up in a functional position and one would be down lower, upside down. But with as close as everything's going to be to that rear collar, I don't really know. I'm kind of limited on what I could mount underneath this if I do mount something. You know, if I want to do 2 tools. Because I don't really have, right now I don't really have another tool that needs to be mounted for use. Yeah, I don't. I'm looking at all my other stuff. My portaband table to turn it into a vertical band. I like being able to pick that up and move it wherever I want. The horizontal table is fine. I guess it's just going to be something I burn later. That'll be an issue for some other time when I have another piece of tooling. Maybe I need another piece of tooling. I do have to build a stand for my brake though. I would like to have a finger brake, but I just don't see that happening. But I do need to build a stand for my little brake. I'm tired of clamping it to the workbench every time I need to use it. So maybe that won't go on this one. No, but that might be the next project. All right, so everybody get out, have fun, and hopefully next time I'll be wrapping this up. Get out, have fun, do something you like.